All right, my guest in tonight's toe-to-toe segment is the former UFC welterweight champion and the only man to defeat George St. Pierre in the last 5 years. He earned that title shot by defeating Chris Lytle to become the Ultimate Fighter Season 4 champion. Now faces Lytle again in a rematch at UFC 119 on September 25th at the Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, and live on pay-per-view. Matt Serra, welcome back to Pro MMA Radio.
Hey, good to be here. What's up, guys?
Hey, man, good to have you. So, the last time you fought twice in 1 year was 2004 when you beat Curran and Menjivar. How come?
Yeah, see?
Yeah, 2004.
But I had good luck with those, so this might be a good thing. I should probably fight more than once a year, you know?
Probably so. How come it's been so infrequent for you, Matt?
You know, I mean, I got a lot of stuff on my plate. It's not that I don't enjoy it. When I fight, it takes 2.5 to 3 months of putting everything else on my life pretty much on hold and concentrating on what I got to take care of. I'm not going to do it half-assed when I do it. Mm-hmm. So, I got 2 schools, I have a new family. I got stuff going on, not to mention guys fighting underneath me. So, I got a lot on my plate. But, every time I do fight, it's 100% of my attention, and it's something special to me. It's not just showing up for a paycheck. So, it's all about, I got to be feeling it, man. If I'm doing it just to be like, you know what, I'm going to be more active. I'm going to get 4 fights in this year and not be that emotionally involved with them. I'm just going to show up and do what each fight's special to me.
Matt, you were breaking up a little bit at the end there. You were saying that every fight is special to you. This fight is a rematch. Were you surprised that they called you to fight Chris?
Could you hear me okay? Am I good?
You're good right now.
Okay, I won't move my head. I got my Bluetooth thing because I'm in my car. But
keep your head in the same place.
Okay. I was a little surprised because they weren't crazy about our first fight, but at the same time, I believe since that fight, we've both shown a lot, you know what I mean? In the sense that, I wasn't really known for hurting people, and since that, I got the title by getting the biggest upset and knocking out the guy who's people thinks unbeatable, George St. Pierre, and shocking the world. And then I knocked out Frank Trigg. I had a fight at night with Matt Hughes. You know what I mean? And Chris has been on a tear and having so many fight at night bonuses and putting on a display of just heart and courage every time he gets in there. And we both haven't been really fighting the same since we fought each other. So I think they saw that as a fight that 2 guys fighting not to lose not so much fighting to win, and now they see 2 guys just letting it all hang out, with both of them having a well-rounded skill set that should really light the place on fire,
Mm-hmm. What do you think a win for you against Chris does? Does that move you up the ladder in this division since you beat him already?
I don't even give that a thought. Mm-hmm. I look at it like I'm fighting a very, dude, I hope my neighbor doesn't come up here and break up our good time.
I hope not.
Everybody has like an annoying neighbor. I mean, nice guy, but geez, please, the guy's walking towards my car. I might just have to hit the deck here. But,
hey, Matt, Hughes didn't move in next door to you, did he?
No, dude, I'd protest. But I'd be toilet paper in his house. But listen, leave that guy alone. See, you get me started. That's funny. What was I up to? Yeah, I don't even look about up the ladder, down the ladder, title shot. I take it a fight at a time, and I look at it like what excites me at this point is the fight itself. I look at the opponent and I say, all right, like the Frank Trigg. I always wanted to fight Frank Trigg. But my last fight I'm talking about, mm-hmm. I always thought that'd be an exciting fight. A guy that's good at taking on jiu-jitsu guys, who's not afraid to bang, who's a ground and pounder, and he's got an attitude. And I'm like, man, I always wanted to fight him. So they called me with Frank Trigg. I'm like, oh man, that's great. I never thought I'd fight that guy. And he does well with jiu-jitsu guys, and I could work my stand up on him, and it worked out awesome, Mm-hmm. But Chris, basically, this is us putting on the fight we should have put on the first time, you know? And Chris is a great guy. I'm fighting guys that normally, my last couple of guys, I had some beef with, whether it's personal or just, you know, banter. It was crazy banter with the other guy. But at the same time, you know, even though Chris is a great guy, I look at it like, man, with our skill set, we should be able. Again, we should. It makes for a great fight.
Right. Now, I know that you are very friendly with Chris and you think very highly of him, but again, you're going into hostile territory. You're going into Chris's backyard, like when you went into GSP's backyard in Canada. Does having the experience of going into Canada help you with that to kind of tune that all out? Because my guess is, Matt, you're going to get a lot of boos.
You know something? Nothing was worse. I'm definitely going to get some boos, and that a lot of boos. But you know that's fine. You know, that don't really bother me, man. You know, I'm not a newbie on the scene. It's funny, man. Every time I get a decision or I beat a guy, the rematch. You know, I beat St. Pierre. I rematch him in his hometown. Yep. I get the decision over Lytle. The rematch is in the hometown of his. So it's funny, man. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? But you know, it's funny though. You know, I mean, nothing could be worse than Montreal. That was just downright brutal.
Right. I imagine it was. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. Before we leave, Chris, are you surprised that you're the underdog? Because I was. I figured for sure you would be a mild favorite, and Chris is actually the favorite. Does it surprise you, and does it motivate you at all?
You know what, man? Being 5'6" in the 170-pound division, I'm always an underdog. You know? You hear that Rocky music come on, that's my theme. I am the underdog, man. I dig it. I relish that role. I'm happy I'm the underdog. More pressure on my buddy. And it's less on me, man. Man, you know what? It's funny. I don't listen to the critics. I don't listen to any of the so-called experts ever. I just don't. I do if I want to chuckle, but I mean, you know, some people think you're overrated. Other people say, no, he's underrated. He got lucky with getting a title. Matt Hughes going to kill him. Matt Hughes didn't kill him, but he got headbutted. I can't. You listen to all that stuff. BJ Penn. What about BJ Penn for a second? The same topic. I'm not getting off places here. I mean, the guy went on a tear. He stopped Stevenson. He stopped Shirk. He stopped Florian, who's a stud. He stopped Diego Sanchez. Mm-hmm. Who the hell is stopping that guy ever? Mm-hmm. And then he has two tough fights with a guy that matches up very well, who fought brilliantly, Frankie Edgar. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, his legacy's in question. He was never that good anyway. Listen, you can't listen to the critics. Right. They suck. They're brutal. You get, like, nerds like Josh Gross out there saying this and that. I mean, that guy looks like he's probably been thrown in lockers his whole life. So, I mean, the second they get a chance, you know, misery loves company. Right. So, I mean, you can't listen to some of these guys at the microphone. Except for you guys. You're awesome, kind of like science.
Well, thank you very much, Matt. We appreciate that. But what has Gross said that turns you off?
No, I just read something he wrote about BJ, and it was him and some other guy, but it was definitely, it's just, listen, they got to do their job as a reporter, but, man, it's just, I always take it as the guy who's been in there, you know, and everybody's got an opinion and this and that, and I just, is he with you guys now?
No.
That guy's not with you?
Nope.
I read something with him and BJ, and I don't want to attack him because there was another guy, but the other guy was, he was even worse, saying how BJ was this and that. I don't want to repeat it. But Josh definitely read something where I remember it just going to me saying, you know what? What a jack. You know, I'm not going to tell you what I thought of him because I don't want to put it on the air. But it was, you know, I don't know what this place is rated here, what we're talking about. But I know it's over the airline, so I don't want to get nasty. But I'm just like, you know what, man? You know, talk about kicking the guy when he's down. The guy went on, and I just sounded off on the guys that he beat. You know, look how many guys the guys beat. Look what he accomplished. You know, not to mention getting titles in 2 weight classes and. And you know what, Frank? Give Frankie credit, if anything. But now you're going to say the other guy was never that good, the other guy that gets tough. I mean, you read what the guy says, and it's just like, you know what, dude, screw you. What do you do? You know, I mean, who are you, exactly? Look at you. Get a picture of Josh Gross up on the screen when I'm talking. Look at him. I mean, come on. You know, look at that guy. That guy's miserable. So misery loves company. Of course he's going to attack the guy. It's crazy.
You know, Matt, I'm having flashbacks to you and Mark Lehman as you're telling me this story.
Oh, man. You know, I mean, I don't think, but you know what? I think Lehman would be with me on this. He's not going to sit there and say that BJ was never this or that.
Right.
You know?
And here's the thing.
It doesn't have to be BJ. BJ's just the guy I'm using as an example, but I mean, even like Chuck Liddell and, you know, I mean, guys are brutal, man. It's a very unforgiving sport, you know. And don't get me wrong, the fans are great, but a lot of times you're only as good as your last fight.
Right.
Which means I'm pretty awesome because I knocked out Frank Drake. But I'm just saying.
Not only did you knock him out, you got knocked out of the night, so you're really awesome.
You know, I mean, even when I lost to Hughes, we got fight of the night. So I'm having a good time, man. You know, I'm really having a good time, and that's the difference between me fighting now and me fighting 10 years ago. You know, at 36, you're not going to be the athlete you were. At 20, doesn't mean you're not going to be in shape and be able to go 3 hard 5s and 3 5-minute hard and whatnot. But you know, you're at 26, you're just an animal differently with that. You know, and but at the same time. You know, you get the mentality of the calmness about you, of being able to execute more in there because I feel at home, I feel calm, and I feel I can execute my techniques better now than I ever have. Not to mention, I feel more well-rounded with my skill set. So it's just all gravy for me now, man. It's all gravy. I don't look what's going on. Am I fighting GSP? If I do well in this fight, the next fight, or right now I got Chris Lytle. I'm enjoying the training for it. I'm getting better in everything. I'm wondering what I'm going to pull off in this fight. If I could pull off what I pulled off in sparring the other day, if I could pull off what I pulled off in wrestling or rolling, and that's what excites me because I'm like, man, I hope I get this off, that off, or I wonder if we have an exchange like I had, you know what I mean? That's what excites me. Yeah. And when you fight like that, at least myself, I feel that's when you perform the best.
So you mentioned the Hughes fight, and that's the fight I want to talk to you about because I was there. I thought you won the fight in the third round. I thought, you know, the first round you won, the second round I thought he won, and to me it came down to the third. I think it did for everybody. But, you know, I looked more at the fact that I thought you had his shoulders in jeopardy at different points in that round. You almost got a triangle. Then you got the takedown at the end of the round, and you really did more damage, Matt, in that last 30 seconds than he did the whole time he had you on the bottom. And, I see it the same exact way. I know I'm a little biased because it's me, but I really did see it that way. But not everybody's going to see it that way. You know, he was on top longer. I mean, the second I hit the floor with a takedown in the third round, he was in jeopardy, but he got out of that. But then I had his other shoulder in jeopardy. He got out of that. The one time he ever tried to truly pass my guard, he was threatened from a triangle, and then I was going to look for a leg lock. Then he got half guard and chilled. Then we stood up, and I got a throw, and I landed more in those last 30 seconds than he did in the whole fight. I connected better than he landed on anything. So it's very odd, you know. It's not really odd. I mean, you know, there's been crazier decisions, but I knew because he was on top a lot, and I knew it would be a close fight because of the judges. But I thought I kind of deserved a nod on that one, you know. But and
there should be something said for the guy looking to end it, you know.
Right, but doesn't it raise the issue, Matt, that you know the judging in MMA, there's really a bias to top position rather than a jiu-jitsu guy like yourself who's consistently threatening with those submissions from the bottom.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be the evolution. They got to see, all right, this guy's on top, but this guy's actually one more move, he's out of there. I mean, he is in jeopardy, and he is getting threatened, and that's what they really have to start seeing. But you know, what are you going to do? Yep. You know, that's not a fight that I look back on and have any bad thoughts about or anything like that. You know, I look at it like, you know what, man, we should do it again, but that's a whole other story.
Well,